The Ducks say goodbye to Mac Court again. But much like the game last March, Oregon misfires down the stretch and sends the Duck faithful home empty-handed. The Beavers were riding some big-time momentum entering their Sunday night showdown with the Wildcats. Oregon State and Arizona both trying to get to 2-0. The Dogs went down to LA looking for a sweep, and they partied like it was 2006. The Cougars were having things all their own way during the non-conference season, but hit a roadblock in SoCal. The Cardinal women are riding high after ending UConn's 90-game win streak and open up the conference season against rival Cal. It's a new year, and we get it started right with the season premiere of Inside the Pac.
Burton crosses over, jump stops, leans back, missed it. Oh! Cunningham kisses the sky!
Jared Cunningham slams Arizona, and the Beavers are now 2-0 in the Pac-10. Hello and welcome to this edition of Inside the Pac. Tom Ward here with you for the next 30 minutes, joined as always by Nick Krupke. And Nick, we saw a big win by the Beavers. The Ducks have a new coach and a new look. The opening weekend for Oregon felt very familiar. The Beavers, meanwhile, big things in Corvallis.
You come off that huge 22-point blowout win on Thursday against Arizona State. Coach Craig Robinson not very happy with his team's production. They practiced twice on Saturday and come out on Sunday, and look what they did against a much better team out of Arizona. And all those young guys coming in so well. We had earlier we talked about the young core and all the athleticism. That certainly came to shine. That Cunningham jam that's an all-time player right there.
Yeah, Oregon State now 2-0 in conference. Now shifting to Oregon. 5 for 33 from the three-point line for the Ducks over the weekend. 32% shooting against ASU. It's like more of the same that we saw last year. You live by the three, die by the three, and they certainly died in this one.
You look at the 4-game losing streak. They haven't shot better than 40% in those 4 games. 15 of 81 on three-pointers in those games. They don't have the kind of quality shooters that can have that long-range game, and teams are just saying, we're going to double up on Jovan down low and say, hey, beat us from the perimeter. And so far, that has not happened early on this Pac-10 slate.
Well, certainly Dana Altman and the Ducks have some little bit of soul searching to do and maybe a little bit of strategy to look at, because really teams are packing it in on them, and they don't have a lot of big guys, and even the guys that are getting shots out on the perimeter are getting rushed and hurried. They're not getting good looks. And so far, it's not starting off too well for them, and I think a preview of things to come in the Pac-10. But let's get the show going here. And after opening the Pac-10 season on Thursday night with a big win over Arizona State, the Beavers were riding the momentum of their first conference opening victory in 6 seasons. OSU going for 3 straight wins, hosting Derek Williams and the Arizona Wildcats on a Sunday night game. Early in the first, the Pac-10 freshman of the year from last season drives hard and lays it in. Wildcats looking good. The Beavers, though, they come right back. Jared Cunningham steps back and knocks down a 3, makes it a 2-point game. Later in the first, Joe Burton coming off a career night Thursday, playing well again, throws it down low. 11-10 Arizona, though. A little later, Wildcats, nice ball movement. Finds a streaking Jesse Perry. Does Williams. 2-hand slam puts Arizona up 23-16, but the Beavers are second in the nation in steals. Here's another one. Amari Johnson lays it in, tied at 28 all at the half. Second half, the game was tight all the way down to the stretch. Less than 3 minutes to play. Beavers up 4, and the play of the game off Burton's miss. Jared Cunningham slams down the putback, makes it 66-62 OSU. And then moments later, it's Cunningham again. Amari Johnson, the give and go. Cunningham gets it to go. And one, makes it 69-66. Arizona answers. Momo Jones drives the lane, gets the floater to go, ties the game at 70. 50 ticks left. Jones led Arizona with 20. Beavers go down the court, give the ball to Burton down low, and the big fella delivers. Lays it in to make it 72-70 Oregon State. Now Arizona with a chance to answer, and this time Jones cannot get it to go. The Beavers rebound the ball, and then Calvin Haynes goes to the line. There was a day when Oregon State would go to the line and you would wonder if they were going to make the free throws. Well, Calvin Haynes put this one to bed with 2 big free throws down the stretch. And look at this, the Beavers pull out the clutch victory over Arizona, 76-75. The Beavers' 3rd straight win over the Cats. Senior Calvin Haynes paced the Beavs with 18, 17 for Cunningham, 16 for Burton.
Yeah, they are second in the country right now in steals. They had 11 more than 5 to Cunningham. In the win, Jared extended his consecutive free throws made streak to 34 before a miss with 5 minutes to play. That ties Vince Fritz and his record of 34 for the Beavers set back in 1967. They are so much more athletic than we've seen in recent years. Scoring options from all around. You look at the Thursday game, you had Roberto Nelson and Ahmad Starks, the two freshmen, kind of lit it up, combined for 26. Tonight, one made basket, only 2 points for those guys combined. But
yeah, 1 for 10.
Yeah, but then you get a guy like Calvin Haynes, who we hadn't seen yet quite this season. He shows up and sticks it at the free throw line. He made 9 of them. Jared was untouchable, too, in that streak he's been having going. They made 24 out of 32 from the line. You mentioned it. There was a time in a day that the Beavers could not do that, where Craig Robinson first came, and even with Jay John, started the drills and practice was go to the line, make 20 in a row, 25, or practice ain't starting until you do.
Right, and they were the gang that couldn't shoot straight at one time, and slowly but surely, Craig Robinson getting this program into a metamorphosis. And you mentioned the different guys. I mean, we've seen Lathan Wallace at times. He didn't have a big night on Sunday night, but at times, Lathan Wallace has been a guy that all of a sudden will heat up for Oregon State. So more options now to get the ball scored by Craig Robinson's team. And, you know, they just keep coming up with wins. And you get a good game out of Burton like you got on Thursday night. Another good effort out of the big guy tonight. Exactly. So, you know, interesting times in Corvallis. It's sitting at 2-0. But let's move on to Oregon now. And 1,115 games and 721 victories for the Oregon men inside MacArthur Court entering Saturday night. The end of an 84-year-old era for the second oldest on-campus gym in the country. Ducks and Sun Devils in Pac-10 play, and Nate McMillan in the house to watch his son Jamel. And Dana Altman's Ducks weathered another slow start. Off the McMillan miss, Brandon Dunson coming out of nowhere to tip it in. Ducks trail right off the bat 11-3, and Oregon shot just 31% in the first half. Teandre Williams connects on a 3. That cuts the ASU lead to 2. Rare 3 for Oregon there. Later, E.J. Singler gets the rebound. Second effort, put back, and the foul. Devils by 1 at 21-20. E.J., 19 points and 9 boards just before the half. Dunson drives and hits. He had 14. Arizona State on top, 28-24 at the half. On the night of the final men's game ever at the pit, all kinds of former heroes turned out. Aaron Brooks led the Ducks to the 07 Elite 8, and Admiral John Dick, one of just 2 surviving members of the 39 Oregon Tall First national title team. Second half, Ducks finally take the lead off the steal. Oregon runs, Singler finishes, and the foul. Ducks up 37-32. Later, Jovan Catron grabs the Singler miss, puts it in, and he's fouled. It's 40-35. Oregon looking good, but ASU answers. Ruslan Pativ laying in the weeds. The recipient of the nice ball movement slams it home. Devils take the lead. Then Felix Carrick, cat-like move along the baseline, lays it in off glass, and he's fouled. Devils up 3. So Oregon with 2 cracks at tying the game, both by E.J. Singler, are off the mark. Can't get it to go, and the Ducks can't close out Matt Court with a victory. 60-55 Sun Devils. Another poor shooting night for Oregon. Just 32%. They only made 2 of their final 16 attempts.
Yeah, Medford's E.J. Singler just a rebound shy of a double-double. The kid who won a state title at the pit matched a career best with 19 and 9. Malcolm Armstead, 5 steals, the most by a Duck since Marty Lunin back in 06. So in 84 years at MacArthur Court, the Ducks won 721 out of the 1,116 that were played. But the victories amassed inside Matt Court might be tougher to come by this season if the Ducks cannot find their shot, connecting at less than a 35% clip in 4 straight games. And you look at some of the individual shooting numbers from Saturday. Malcolm just 2 of 8. Strobridge 2 of 7. Jeremy Jacob coming back from injury, of course, but 1 of 7. Garrett Sim, where's his touch been? 1 of 6. Their leading scorer all year has been the 5th-year senior Javon Catron, but he's relentlessly being double-teamed and only put up 6 attempts against the Sun Devils. The same amount of turnovers that Duke had as well. EJ again, nice night, 19 and 9, but until they can find somebody else that can kind of show that they got a threat out there, opponents will continue to double up there on Duke, and they just don't have anybody has any automatic offense right now, and the threes certainly are not falling. 5 of 33 on the weekend, less than 30% on the year to 29. And you know, Dana Altman's team's back at Creighton. They like firing the 3, but they can also hit that 3. And he said before that we'd certainly like to do that, but we don't have shooters on this team that can really knock them down at this point.
Well, there was a day when, you know, Tawan Porter playing with Aaron Brooks, when the Ducks had a guy who was a hot hand. They could ride him, they could do a heat check, and then they could go to him. Oregon doesn't have a guy like that right now. They really have nobody that can consistently knock down a shot. They don't have anybody that can consistently score inside, and they frankly don't have a lot of guys who can create their own shot.
Yeah, I mean, you missed a lot of those guys that transferred out. You talk about size. If Dunnigan was around, that would certainly help. You talk about some offense. They hope that they would have that in Jameel Wilson. He left. Matt Humphrey, he left. All those guys that at least the old regime thought that would come through for this year, they're not here. And the Ducks don't have anybody. And, of course, Altman came kind of too late in the game to get anybody of his own and see what the future holds. But might be a tough run for the Ducks here.
Well, I think a little, like I said earlier, maybe a little preview of what's to lay ahead for Oregon in the Pac-10 season. So the Ducks start the Pac-10 season with 2 losses that were reminiscent of last year's 7-11 conference season. Still to come on Inside. We'll go back to Mac for more with Oregon as the Ducks continue to try to find the shooting eye.
One of these games is going to go in. We haven't been shooting it well for the past 3 games, but I think we have a lot of good shooters on our team.
And the Cougars had the best non-conference mark in all the Pac-10, but are they coming back down to earth? We'll go around the conference. And as always, lots more Beavers, Ducks, and the rest of the Pac-10 online all the time at our website at InsideThePac.com. We'll be back after this.